Tonight on Newshour, Europe on edge once more. Romania says a Russian drone has breached its airspace, the second NATO country to report such an incursion, less than a week after Poland shot down at least 3 drones that crossed its border. Well, Europe's fragile security balance is under pressure as the war in Ukraine spills across borders. But what is Vladimir Putin really up to? Are these accidents of war or deliberate warnings to NATO to back off and stay clear of Russian territory? Adding to the tension, Moscow has issued a stark warning: any state that seizes Russian assets should expect consequences, including direct retaliation. A reminder that this confrontation is no longer confined to the battlefield, but stretches also into financial and political arenas. Let's first take a look at this in-depth report.
NATO's eastern members have faced a tense week. In Poland, drones crossing international airspace were shot down, the first time a NATO country has taken direct action against Russian hardware since the war began. Warsaw framed the incident as a calculated test, rejecting suggestions from Washington that it might have been a mistake. Romania has faced similar pressures. On September 13th, fragments of Russian drones were recovered on its territory, close to the Danube, during strikes against Ukrainian ports. For Bucharest, the discovery underlined how quickly the conflict can spill across borders. Officials lodged a diplomatic protest and demanded stronger Allied support. NATO has promised to reinforce its eastern flank in response, underscoring that the alliance takes these incidents seriously.
What happened on Wednesday was not an isolated incident. Russia's recklessness in the air along our eastern flank is increasing in frequency. We have seen drones violate our airspace in Romania, Estonia, Latvia and Lithuania. Whether intentional or not, it is dangerous and unacceptable. To ensure that we are prepared and ready to defend every inch of Allied territory, we stood up Baltic Sentry at the beginning of this year to help safeguard critical infrastructure from reckless behavior in the Baltic Sea. And today, General Grynkewich and I are here to announce that NATO is launching Eastern Sentry to bolster our posture even further along our eastern flank. This military activity will commence in the coming days and will involve a range of assets from allies including Denmark, France, United Kingdom, Germany and others. In addition to more traditional military capabilities, this effort will also feature elements designed to address the particular challenges associated with the use of drones.
Although the immediacy of our focus is on Poland, this situation transcends the borders of one nation. What affects one ally affects us all. This is an issue that impacts all of the alliance, and we will treat it as such. Eastern Sentry will be flexible and agile, delivering even more focused deterrence and defense exactly when and where needed. It will include additional enhanced capabilities. It will integrate air and ground-based defenses, and it will increase information sharing amongst nations. Foremost, it will even further strengthen our posture to shield and protect the alliance. Poland and citizens from across the alliance should be assured by our rapid response earlier this week and our significant announcement here today. NATO will continue to defend every inch of its territory.
Even as NATO responds, Russia and Belarus are pressing ahead with Zapad 2025. Large-scale joint exercises taking place near NATO's borders. Tens of thousands of troops are involved, operating across training grounds in both countries. The first phase simulates repelling an attack on Russia and Belarus. The second, restoring the so-called Union states' territorial integrity with the support of Allied forces. Moscow insists the drills are defensive, but their timing has unsettled Europe, coming just as NATO members grapple with drone incursions. Belarus's geography adds to the unease. It borders Poland, Lithuania, and Latvia to the west, all NATO members, and Ukraine to the south. That puts Zapad 2025 directly on the alliance's doorstep. The Kremlin has dismissed European concern as emotional and hostile, declining to comment on the drone incidents in either Poland or Romania. But Western officials note that the last Zapad exercises, in 2021, preceded Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine by only a few months.
Okay, joining me now to discuss this further is Euronews journalist Vitaly Kozhikari, who is in Bucharest. Vitaly, thank you very much indeed for joining us. Give us your sense then on the ground. How have Romanians reacted to the discovery of this drone debris in their territory?
Hi, hello from Bucharest. Yes, it's a big discussion here in Romania. It's a big discussion how to deal with the next Shahed or Grand drone type that will enter in this airspace of Romania, because we are wondering if this will be the next time we will shut it down or not, because in this moment we know a pilot has the contact with the drone but choose not to shut it down because they monitored the drone and find out it had no threatened any settlement in Romania. So the Romanian authorities, Romanian military authorities, will shut it down with airplane jets, F-16 jets, or they have something more, because it's very expensive to fly on this air jet, and drones just a few thousand of dollars.
Difficult situation for the government to be in, Vitaly. How has their response reassured the public? When you go out and about in Bucharest, what is it that people are saying? How are they feeling?
Here in Bucharest, they are not saying nothing. They're not as much as in that part of Romania worried about drones, because it's 100 kilometers from Tulcea region to Bucharest. But here particularly, I spoke with people, they are worried, they are afraid of drones. Some of them hear every night drones, so they just want to know if they're on, if the authorities do their best to protect them. So this is the main question of those people who are lived there in the Tulcea county. But here in Bucharest, people are, it's a very big city, a 2 million city, Bucharest, I mean. So it's people are feeling safe here, not there in Tulcea county.
A difference between the two regions, clearly. I mean, has there been an official response yet from the Kremlin? What is it specifically they're saying about the reason, the intentions for this situation?
That's a very good question, because we know that our authority or there ask some questions the ambassador of Russia. The ambassador get a note of protest, but he refused this note of protest. Why? Because he said that that drone was not Russia, it was an UFO. So the Romanian authorities have no proof that it is a Russian drone.
Wow, a UFO. Interesting. An interesting justification there. I mean, what does the government in Romania believe? Does it believe that this was a deliberate provocation, or does it think that possibly it was just an error, an accident of some kind?
Yeah, for our authority, there is not a doubt that it was a provocation. They're testing reaction of military forces from Romania. This is the statement of the Ministry of Defense. Also, let's not forget about the Zapad 2025. So Romania and Poland are the country most targeted by this drone. Before the event on 10 September in Poland, Romania was the main target. There are some figures in the public space that showed, let's say, 11 or 20 drones flight over Romania. But now Poland is on this top. So authorities in Romania know for sure these are the testing of capacity of Romanian forces, air forces, and military forces to react to the aggression actions of the Russia.
Yeah, it's very interesting that you say they're amongst the most targeted. In that case, how well prepared is the Romanian air defence network for any further incursions? And what level of bolstering has been done recently by the government?
So I will quote to the former president of Romania, Traian Băsescu. He said that we cannot use air jets to shut down the drones. We can use another materials or technique to shut it down because we got it, we have it. But of course, we should be in that area of Tulcea County to be sure that this drone will not enter anymore in Romania, or if it will happen, we could shut them down. So in this moment, we are in the same position as Poland. We are using air jets to shut down drones. It's an expensive way to dealing the problem. So now authorities are looking for some other ways to dealing the problem cheaper and not to cost so much for Romania, because Romania right now also has some financial problems, and this will be also a hit for our budget and for our government.
And Vitaly, we heard from the NATO chiefs in our package earlier. Has the NATO response satisfied Romanian concerns so far?
NATO is a big ally for Romania. Also, Romanian authorities and population in Romania are very concerned about what's happening. But for sure, we know that NATO said, and we are sure they will protect Romanian territory. So this is most important what we hear here in Romania from the NATO spokespersons or Mark Rutte even. And they said for sure that they will protect. And we are looking for seeing what will happen with the next project NATO is preparing for the eastern flank, to see how they will deal with the drones that flying from Russia. And also, and any help would come from Ukraine. So we know for sure that Ukraine has a big experience into shut down drones. And this is a very cheap way. So somehow our main authorities, how I understand and spoke with experts, will contact Kiev to have some switch and experience from Ukraine to help Romanian forces to understand how they could do it cheaper.
How does all of this play out in domestic politics, Vitaly? What are the political pressures that leaders in Bucharest are dealing with at home?
Yeah, that's a good question, because we had some issue on politics too. The law that permits to the pilots to shut down drones was voted in Parliament of Romania some weeks ago. But there are some politicians in parliamentary that they are not happy with that. They don't want just Romania shut down the Russian drones. They just want to leave them fly, not to involve in this war, how they say. They are thinking that if Romania will shut down the drones, somehow Romania will be involved in the war. But I should tell you that these kind of politicians are from the far right of the parliament. And there are some rumors that they have connected somehow with Russia too.
Very interesting. How significant then is Romania's ongoing role, both as a NATO host and as obviously Ukraine's neighbour?
There is a poll these days that's showing it's a big support from population, from Romanians to NATO and EU. I mean, if we could see this figure, we find out that 80% of Romanian still want to be a part of NATO and EU, and these parties, far right parties, have no cannot do another thing to impulse or to convince Romanian people not to be sure that NATO and EU will help us. So this is very important issue about the population, about the expectation that EU and NATO will help Romania to deal with the particular issue, I mean Russian drones.
And finally, Vitaly, before we let you go, just be interested to understand a bit more about Romanian media and how these incidents are being covered in Romania and the narratives that you've noticed that are standing out.
This is the main issue and the main subject in Romanian media. On my show this night, I will speak with some experts, some drone experts about this, because it's very important, and maybe we can see a good part of the issue, of the problem. And the good part is NATO is more attentive to Romania. We saw Donald Trump say that Russia is an aggressor. So now this aggression from Russia become a little issue for the external political of Romania. So we could see that it's very important for the media, for the population, and also for our allies from the West.
Vitaly, to you and the whole team at AnewZ Romania, we thank you very much indeed for joining us.
Thank you.
Okay, that brings us to the end of this edition of NewsHour. As NATO faces growing pressure, the threat isn't just escalation. It's in the intricacies of dealing with a Russia that continues to test the West's resolve. Poland's readiness and Romania's rising alarm also serve as stark reminders of just how destabilised Europe's security landscape has become. From all of us here at AnewZ, thank you for watching.